Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. Uh, Today we're joined by James, but let me just get a few things off my chest here. There's quite a few people now wanting to come on Zoom. Obviously, the 100 quid for the winner, whoever does the most views on here on Zoom, who comes on with me. It's an incentive, isn't it? But why not? Talk a bit of boxing and your chance to get 100 quid. Nobody else is doing what we do. So, all right. And I just want to point out that the video that's out tonight uh, is regarding the next Golovkin is Scott Brunt's fighter, Tornado Tim from Kazakhstan. He's out there training in Thailand with Adam Etchits. Apparently, he punches like a mule. How are you doing, James?
I'm all right, mate. I'm not too bad.
Good.
Adam Etches knows a bit about punching, doesn't he? He could punch like a mule back in the day as
Yeah,
well. So,
he looks like a mule at the moment.
oh, does he? Right.
Put some beef on, but yeah, he could punch. Adam Etchits, he could really punch. Yeah, but obviously he finished early in his career, didn't he, Adam Etchits?
He did.
But
He did. I think he was only about 30, wasn't he? I think.
I think he might have been 26. I think he said in the video. I'm not sure, but I think he's 33 now. So I don't know if he got his age mixed up, or if he meant that he felt that he'd had enough at 26. I'm not sure. I'll have to pull him on that, but I think he was a bit older than that. But yeah, he seems to be enjoying it out there. He only went out for an holiday, I think. He's been out there 10 weeks now, and him and that lad are doing really good. And they've now got Spartan Demolition on board. I think there's a few sponsors that Scott at Spartan Demolition's got him, so he's going to look after him and guide him in the right direction. So that's all good in it. So
Good stuff. Good stuff.
and obviously the people can follow his journey from here now. This Kazakhstan kid and Adam, they can follow it from here because Scott's a good pal of mine. He sponsors my channel and he wants me to do the PR for him and whatnot. So I'm up for anything. So it's all good in it.
Yeah, definitely. Good things are coming.
Yeah, good things are coming, and like I said, the kid's he's learned English as well, so he obviously wants to do well. I think he speaks in an American accent, but it's a bit better than broken English, but he's doing good. So,
Good,
James,
good.
a couple of questions I want to ask you before we get stuck in.
Yep.
You tell me five tough fighters from the UK over the last 20 years. You know, tough guys.
Tough guys. I was going to say past or present, but over 20 years.
Last 20
Uh,
years.
So that rules out Nigel Benn then, doesn't it? I'd say Hatton just because he was going, he'd go to war. He'd like to go to war. I mean, he'd get put on his backside, but he was a tough guy. Can we have like domestic or are you just talking world as well, Ross?
No, UK fighters in the last 20 years. Just give me five
Uh,
tough guys.
Eamon McGee,
Hey,
obviously, he got kneecapped and then was straight back in the ring like 18 months later.
yeah,
Uh, Ricky Hatton, that's two. Another tough guy. Sam Eggington,
yeah,
never in a dull fight.
yeah.
I would say I know this is a bit easy, really, but Derek Chisora, even though he's a vegetable, I mean he just comes forward with his face, doesn't he? And that's four. Another tough guy. I'm not sure about that one, Ross.
I'm not going to say Chisora or Nigel Benn because Nigel Benn quit on his stool in his last two fights, and so I'm not going to say him, and I'm not going to say Chisora because I think he's been knocked about and that. And tough guys for me, I mean, they don't get the. I don't know. Derek is tough his style, but I
Hmm.
think I think he should have been to put out his misery a long time ago. So I'm not going to put him in my list. But who have you got then? You've got
Cole Froch as well. I forgot Cole Froch.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cole Froch, Sam Eggington, Eamon McGee. I said Ricky Hatton. Yeah, I've already said that.
yeah. How many?
And well, I said Chisora as well, didn't I?
Yeah,
And
got your list.
yeah, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm going to go for my five. Josh Whale. Not because I
Um,
personally know him. I just think he's a tough kid. And
yeah.
I've seen him take shots on fights, and he just keeps coming forward. He's got that pressure style. Clinton Woods, he's a tough man, isn't he? We can't argue with that,
Hmm.
can we? Clinton Woods, look who he's been in with. He fought in
Yeah.
that era like Ebbies, where there were tough guys, and he didn't want to quit against Roy Jones. It was Big Ron that threw towel in. So Clinton Woods. I'm going to go Eggington, same as you, Sam Eggington. Uh, Liam Cameron's never been stopped. He's a tough kid, Liam Cameron. He's got an head like concrete and two brain cells in his head. That's probably why he's never been stopped. We're going to have to say the Cobra has never been stopped, the Cobra, and he's only been down twice. Uh,
Mm.
uh, so that's my five. So very similar. Like I said, I can't go for Chisora because I think for me, just I think his style, he should have changed it up once he started getting knocked about, and he didn't. And his own worst enemy. You know, other people can adapt. You can't adapt to. So for me, there's been like Dave Allen. You say Dave Allen's tough, but you'd also say he's stupid, wouldn't you? That's why Peter fired him out at gym because he won't move his head, and it just makes the trainer
Mm.
look bad, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, but Dave's a tough man. But if David had used his he's used his loaf, but he used his brains a little bit or listened, he could have been in a better position now and he wouldn't have took as much punishment. You know what I mean? And he frustrates me at times because you never know. He's a bit like Alex Higgins. You never know which one's going to turn up, do you? You know which Dave Allen's going to get in ring.
No, I'd say I'd say Ronnie O'Sullivan nowadays if you're going to use the snooker analogy because I'm a bit young for Alex Higgins. Um, but yeah, you never know which one's going to turn up there. And that, talking of that, Kyle Froch, even though I loved him as a fighter, he used to frustrate me because there were times where he just led with his face. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought, there's no need for that. You're a good fighter. You're a former ABA champion. I think he won a bronze medal, didn't he, as well in the worlds, I believe. So you could box. You
Roch
don't
won
need to
to win a
be
bronze.
tough, man. He what? Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Roch were the first world championship medalist from this country, 2001 in Belfast, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I remember that being
And
on the
Davy Day.
BBC. Yeah, yeah.
Him and Davy Day both won medals, didn't they? I think Davy Day won a medal the day after he got a silver, didn't he? So Froch
Hmm.
dying out on being the first world championship amateur medalist, can't he? A bronze.
Top man.
So okay, okay. Uh, Massive left hook punchers from UK as well.
Left hook. You're really putting me on the spot here, aren't you? I
Yeah,
mean, there's
yeah.
it's got to be it's got to be Hatton, isn't it? Left hook to the body. I
That's,
wouldn't say massive, but
I won't put Hatton in that bracket, me. I won't, because if you look at his record, they were all padded out, washed up men at the WBU level, weren't they really? And really, when he got Costa Zoo, he got him when he were over ill, didn't he? Really, let's have it right. He didn't have 12 rounds
yeah,
in the tank. He only had 8 rounds in him, didn't he? In that fight, we're hanging on for dear
yeah.
after 8. But no,
I'd, I'd, I'd
Hatton,
agree there.
you what?
I'd agree there actually.
Uh,
Um,
Do
Tony
you want me
Simpson.
to help you here, James? Do you want me to help you out here? Because you're stumbling like a stumblebum here. Tony
I
Bell,
am. Go on,
Tony
mate.
Bell,
Go on.
you left hook. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Henry Cooper, Henry Zammer. Yeah, Dylan
Yep.
White. I'm not a big fan of Bellew and White.
No.
We can't say that they haven't got world class left hooks, can we? Because they've got them out of trouble many times, haven't they?
Yeah.
And that's what's smart. I
So
think Calzaghe's left hook were fantastic as well.
Tony Simpson had a good left hook on him as well.
Tony Simpson, yeah, yeah. Well, I just thought we'd get that out there because a few people have emailed me and wanting to my opinion on that. So not that my opinion is wet out, but I've given it. Okay, then let's get down to the nitty gritty. Martin Bacoli, big stiff from the Congo, big black fella, 6'6", feet size 18. Let's have it right. He's running around in a kilt, right, pretending he's a Scotsman. I mean, what's going on there? He's calling out AJ, Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua said F and whatever it's called. What's that guy's called? F and
F- Hefe Jagba,
F.A. Jagba.
big stiff
Who
Nigerian, yeah.
said this other big stiff's going to beat this other big stiff, Bacoli? What do you think?
I happen to agree with that. I don't really think Jagba's got sensational sort of boxing skills. I think the Americans sort of jumped on him because, as I always say, if you're big and black and look capable, the Americans will jump on you. And I think he was a bit out of his depth. He has been a bit out of his depth. He got beat by the Cuban, didn't he? Bacoli, not Bacoli. Um, Bloody hell, the names are they're going. The German, Ross.
You what?
What's he called? The one who the German beat on the bill on the
What's he
Saudi
called?
bill.
Caballel.
Yeah, I'm sure Caballel beat him. You know
Beat who?
the one. Yeah, he's 30 years old, and Caballel beat him. I'm sure he did. The Cuban.
Oh yeah, Sanchez, was it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it, Sanchez. I'm sure he beat F.A. Jagba, didn't he? And the Jagba didn't look very stylish there. I fancy Bacoli just to do a job, just to run through him, to be honest, because that's all Bacoli is really. He's not too stylish himself, but he's there and he's got a decent punch output, and he can sort of overwhelm you, can't he? So I think that's what'll happen there.
Right, he finished.
Yeah,
Right, well, this is how I look at it. Right, Bacoli. They've got the work cut out with him, James, haven't they? Trying to
yeah.
sell. The promoters are not giving him the time of day. Do you think it's because little Billy Nelson is going on and on and on and on like a fucking broken record about how good this guy is? I mean, he was doing all that, and then when Michael Hunter flogged him, little Billy went missing, didn't he?
Yeah. I if if you want me honest opinion on that, I think the only reason he's not getting airtime, Martin Bacoli, is because we don't need him. See, this country, in terms of sportsmen, right, we've always favoured people who are not necessarily from here, right? I mean, you could make the argument. I don't make the argument, but you hear it all the time about Lennox Lewis, don't you? When Frank Bruno was around, Lennox Lewis was around, and no one favoured Lewis because he was a Canadian. Right. Well, we didn't necessarily need him because Frank was doing things, and everyone was cheering him on, and so he didn't really get his flowers until after he retired, and then Klitschko's doing the thing that he's doing, so everyone's like lauding Lewis then and saying how good he was. When Tim Henman was playing tennis, he was pony, so Greg Grosetsky come along, who was Canadian, and he was pretty decent. Do you know what I mean? So when there's an alternative, we've actually got British fighters out there doing things at world level at the moment. So they don't need someone pretending to be Scottish, do they? To sort of fly the British flag. If we were 10 years down the road and Joshua's retired, Fury's gone, and there's no one coming through, Moses Artauma's not flying the flag, for example, then yeah, Martin Bacoli would be a Scot, wouldn't he? But they're not really interested in that at the moment because we've got winners.
Listen, when Andy Murray won Wimbledon, we all said he was a great British guy. But when he kept losing it every year, we just said, "Oh, he's a sweaty sock."
Yeah, of course,
You know what I mean? So that's the English for you. That's why the
definitely.
Scottish don't like us, I think. Uh, do you see Bacoli getting his chance? I don't.
No, I
I
don't.
think they'll put obstacles in front and eventually he'll stumble again like he did against Hunter. Do you?
Yeah, I mean there are obstacles. There are obstacles in the way, in the form of people like Moses Artelma. He's going to get his opportunity because all that glitters with is gold with him because of his age and his youth, and they're going to invest money in him, invest time in him. The Saudis will love him. Bacoli will get pushed in onto the back burner. He's only getting older, isn't he? So yeah.
All right then. Uh, Eubank versus Bricktop. How do you see it panning out at court, or will it be sorted beforehand? I mean,
Well, no, I can't see it being sorted beforehand. He's too pig-headed, isn't he, Bricktop? I can see him going all the way, but I don't really understand the timing of it. I think he's had a bit of a hissy fit. Tyson Fury's lost in the last couple of weeks, and he's just gone. Oh, What can I do? How can I upset the apple cart? And
They
you
can't
know,
help themselves, can they? Can't help himself, can he?
no, he's a bully, and he's a scumbag. And I will echo the sentiment by Chris Eubank. And like we said on our last video together, Russ, you only have to go back into the archives, don't you?
Listen,
If
right,
Eubank
go on.
no, if Eubank doesn't win, there's something seriously wrong with him or the legal system. Because yeah,
Right. Let me just help you out here, right? Because obviously you don't do your own work. If you
go
go
on.
online and Google Joe Calzaghe versus Frank Warren High Court transcripts, go and read it. He lost in court. Every single fight he had with Calzaghe, right after he left Mickey Duff to go with Bricktop, he had an agreement on contract every single time. Once that agreement ended, Calzaghe were a free agent. That was his argument. He went to do the Roy Jones fight, and that's when Bricktop served papers on him because he fought Roy Jones, and he wanted a slice of that cake. So when they got to court, it was very, very simple, really. The judge just they had him there. They all said the bits, blah blah blah, and the judge just turned around and said, "You're an astute businessman, Mister Frank Warren." To which he nodded, and he then said, every world title fight and every big fight you've ever been involved in, you've had people for years and years and years nailed down on a contract. So why should we believe you that all of a sudden that this was a verbal agreement between you and Mr. Calzaghe? Why should we believe that when for all your career you've had people locked down on contracts and had bitter disputes? You are thoroughly dishonest. Go and read it. It's online. Go and read it. But the best one is the Barry Hearn versus Steve Collins one. That's the best one for me personally, because that cost him £1 million, didn't it? Barry Epstein. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it
Mr.
is what it
Mr.
is,
I'm in the
but
black book.
it is what it is. But Chris Eubank Jr., all he's got to do is go and dig it all up. Curtis Woodhouse, like I said before, and I'll say it again, he's got checks from Bricktop that bounced. They're framed on his wall. There you go. Now, if that ain't scumbag behaviour while you're sat in your ivory tower bouncing checks to kids that have spewed their guts in ring, if that's not scumbag behaviour, can somebody explain to me what is? See where I'm coming from?
Yep, definitely, and it
Want to
speaks
take me
volumes
on?
as well.
If they want to take me on, come and sue me anytime you want. Pop, pop, bang.
Yep, it speaks volumes as well. You don't see Eddie Hearn taking him to court, do you?
No, because they've all got skeletons in closet. I don't see Calla, and they've got millions, and so has Eddie Hills. Hills, they've got millions. Why don't they chase about with it? Because they don't want legal knackers and they don't know what's going to come out. So, in my opinion, he's pig-headed, right? Or he's flexing his muscles to get Eubank to shit his pants, thinking, "Oh, I've already lost 200 grand to him before," and get him to sign for Shearer's fight. Who's beat nobody, by the way. Best win Tyler Denny, and that is it. We've got people geeing him up just because he's big and lanky. So were Thomas Ausbausen. He didn't do no, did he? Do you know
No,
Thomas
you
Ausbausen, that South African super middleweight?
you've just got to you've just got to hold out against the bully, ain't you? So let's see if Chris Eubank Senior had bottle on him, didn't he? So let's see whether Junior can replicate his old man.
Yeah. Okay. Fury Joshua and Dylan White. They're all knocking on a bit now, aren't they? It's Big Freezer's even 34 in August. That's Fury Joshua White. It's Big Freeze. Joyce and Chisora. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are they going to be gone this year? Because people like the Gad keep saying they are, but I'm not so sure. What do you think, James?
No, not while there's money on the table. Because now it's not like fighters of 20 years ago. Now every big top level fighter is a businessman, aren't they? Really? Well, under the guise of a businessman, they've got big teams behind them. And if you've got an advisory team, they're not going to be telling you to retire because they're taking money out of your pocket, they're eating it from your table, and they're going to squeeze as much out of the flannel as they can. You know, the people behind the fighters. So no, I can see Joshua's already said. I think he said as early as this week already. Like he wants to carry on. So Joshua's going to stay. I think he should fight Dylan White. Thinking about it, because he getting back on the winning track. I think, and he can carry on rinsing the Saudi money then after that.
So you think Joshua will fight Dylan White again, yeah?
I don't think it'll happen. I think that that's a sensible option because I've always thought Dillian White should have been called what he rhymes with. Do you know what I mean? Dillian Shite. I don't think he was all that, to be honest. And it'd get Joshua a win because White looked absolutely awful in that last fight he was in. So Joshua did as well, but I just think he's got more in the tank than Dillian White has. So get yourself a win, and then you can get yourself back at the Saudi table, can't you?
Well, look at these lot here, right? Fury, Joshua, they've not got world title belts. White, well, he ain't got a world title belt. He got a British, didn't he? Donkeys years ago against 20 stone Ian Lewinson.
Yep.
Joyce has not got a world title, and Del Boyan. So those six. Do you see him retiring then, or hanging around like bad smells?
Well, Derek Chisora has been hanging around like a bad smell for 10 years past his sell by date, hasn't he? So I can see him going, Derek Chisora, actually, in the next year or so, just because I actually think he's going to be true to his word about retiring at 55 or whatever he wanted to do. But all the others, no. I think you're going to have to force him into retirement. Joe Joyce will end up on a stretcher. He'll get McLennan at some point, I think, in a wheelchair if he carries on. And then, yeah, like I say, Joshua, while there's money on the table and he can potentially beat Dillian White, he's going to carry on and on and on.
Okay. Porky, can you ask one of your guests, Holyfield or Usyk, at £200? Who have you got?
Um, Usyk.
Usyk, because he's southpaw.
Yeah. Yeah, not just because he's southpaw, he's a more well-rounded fighter. Um, I mean, I'm probably going to get shot in the comments for this, but
Well,
Evander Holyfield was an
diehard, the
extreme.
Holyfield diehard. You drug cheat anyway.
Oh, I mean, I like Evander Holyfield. I love watching him and all that. He was a drug cheater, Evan Fields. But yeah, I just think Usyk, the thing that makes it for me with Usyk, and it's the thing I always touch upon when I've done podcasts in the past, footwork. Footwork is a massive thing. And Usyk would just, do you know what I mean? He'd overwhelm him with footwork and just stay out of like centre line. And, Holyfield used to just go and go and go, didn't he? And try and sort of trap an opponent, if you know what I mean, and just hammer him. Usyk wouldn't give him that opportunity to do that.
Oh,
And I think he'd win. He'd win a decision. I don't think he'd end up stopping Holyfield. Holyfield was hard as nails, wasn't he? But he's definitely got the one-upmanship when it comes to skills.
we'll not get through all this tonight, James, because your answers are too fucking long.
Right, all right, I'll calm
Uh,
down. Sorry, mate.
Usyk, Opetia at £200. Who you got if they fight now?
Usyk.
Usyk, right. Fabio Wardley, WBA number one. Is he the surprise package at heavyweight? As he just keeps mowing men down that much. I'm thinking about changing his name to Mo Green. You know, Matt Godfather.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Got a shot in the eye. Yeah, he is a surprise
James,
package.
James, why do you keep talking of him when I'm reading stuff out? You dive in all fucking time, don't you? You do it all
Sorry, mate.
right. No, good fucking prick.
I
Right.
know.
Why do you do
Love
that?
you too.
I can ask you, mate, why you do it. What was the first thing I said to you when you come on early? What did I say to you? Don't get
Well,
ex-
I didn't realise. I didn't realise you were still talking. I'm clearly ignorant. Well, us Southerners don't know the ways of the North. So, you're king of the North. You carry on.
No, go on. You want to fucking host it, don't you, mate? You host it. Go on, host
No, no, of course
it.
not. Go on.
Go on.
Are we going to be in a stalemate here, Ross? Carry on.
Well, no, you're trying to take piss here or something now. You think I'm some sort of cunt? Hey,
No, no, of course not.
you
I
do it
wouldn't
all the
grace.
time, mate. Right, we'll forget that question. I'll come fucking back to it. What's
Go
point in
on.
me getting to the fucking main gag at fucking question and then you fucking pipe up? What the fucking
Uh,
right?
I don't know.
Well, what I was saying is here, Wardley, WBA number one, is he the surprise package at heavyweight? As he just keeps mowing men down. And I was going to say, I'll change his name to Mo fucking Greenheart Godfather. Then you fucking pipe in, don't you, when I'm in mid sentence?
I heard you say that though.
Fucking. What did I say to you when I come to end? Pause. You fucking pause. You do it every fucking time, mate.
All
Right,
right.
Corey Joshua. AJ's calling it on now. He's shot to bits, right? He's calling it on with Joshua. Where do you see that going?
Um, Fury's still got something left in the tank. He just outboxes Joshua.
Right, okay. Okay. Will AJ keep double agent boxer size Ben on board, or will he draft in a new trainer to replace him? Basically, he's had Tony Sims, Annie McCracken, Joby Clayton, Angel Hernandez, what's Garcia, Derek James. Now he's on Davidson. So who's going to be? How many is that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Who's going to be eight?
He'll stay with him because if he moves away from him, then he's got to potentially face the danger men, hasn't he? Your Moses Talma and Wardley, and he doesn't want to do that. So stay with them, and it keeps you away from jeopardy.
Correct. Absolutely correct. What about Shane McGuigan or go to Adam Boo? Do you think they'll be in the mix, James?
Uh, Shane McGuigan, no, I just think he's going to stay where he is. He's an elder statesman now, isn't he? Only Joshua, so yeah, he'll just stay where he is. He's still generating the money. That's all he's really bothered about.
Yeah. Big Ron calling for Roy Jones and Spencer Oliver to train Joshua if Ben Davidson gets relieved of his duties.
Bloody hell.
I know Dennis getting a bit desperate there isn't he, to keep Spencer Oliver on side with Talksport connection. Oh my
He
God.
is.
Hey, Desperado. Right, we'll go on to part two then, kid. Yeah, I'll send you a
Uh,
link.
yeah, cheers, mate. See you in a bit.
All right, thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. I'll see you on part two, where hopefully James won't be a cock. Will you, James? If anybody's got a problem with how I fucking run this channel, keep your emails coming. All right. All right. That's how I look at it. All right.